To Adamawa, where the aftermath of Adamawa rerun governorship election continues to deliver unscripted storylines. The Independent National Electoral Commission INEC has said the whereabouts of the suspended resident electoral commissioner of Adamawa State, Udo Ari, remains unknown, rather, after he announced the winner for the supplementary governorship election, while collation was yet to be concluded. After ignoring INEC summons, the commission has asked the police to declare him wanted. On a lighter note, it may be time to create a missing person poster and wait for another 48 hours for results. BKO.
The INEC rec in Adamawa put himself to shame, put his family to shame, put his state to shame, put his local government, Ningi, in Bauchi State to shame, and even put his calling as a lawyer to shame. I've been waiting for the NBA to tell us that they've taken action against this REC, W-R-E-C-K, because what he did was potentially possible, potentially capable of setting Adamawa ablaze. And at a time when INEC was still smarting from the bad name that he got from not uploading results on the on his what do you call the INEC viewing portal? IREF, the public viewing portal. You will have expected anybody associated with INEC to behave responsibly, behave in a manner that does not further damage the name of the commission. But this fellow was clearly had his own agenda. And his agenda was to announce the result, believing that once he did that, no one will be able to undo it. You then go to court to fight. They believe that the Nigerian judiciary is a judiciary of the highest bidder. But I do not agree. I've seen lowly people defeat big people in courts in our country, So, but he must have felt that once he announced the thing, that only a court can reverse that announcement. So that was his plan, because a situation in which we still had 10 local governments to go, and collation was supposed to resume at 11. And by 9 a.m., you had gone to make that hasty announcement. It was really, really shameful. But I'm not surprised, because this is Nigeria. The level of impunity in our country is unbelievable. This fellow was boasting that President Buhari appointed him, kind of telling people here to listen that only the president can stop him, Now, the police have a duty to fish him out. At the end of their investigation, put him on trial. If they don't put this man on trial, many people will conclude that we are not a serious people. Because what he has done is an electoral offense. He has to be put on trial like other people. How is his own case less terrible than that of the people they arrested while canvassing for vote buying? You arrest someone for ballot box snatching. It's an electoral offense. What he has done is another form of ballot box snatching. You arrest people for vote buying. It's an electoral offense. What he has committed is even worse than those ones. Because at his own high level, he wanted to just simply rig the election. INEC said, okay, stay away from your duty post. Come to Abuja. He refused to go. They made phone calls to him. He didn't pick their calls. He has ignored his bosses since this thing happened. Yes, I know that he will be really ashamed about what's going on. He will prefer to hide his head somewhere, especially given the treatment given that national commissioner from Kebbi State. Somebody who did not. If I was watching that man cry and tears came to my eyes, he did nothing wrong. In fact, I was told that he was one of the people insisting that due process must be followed. And they beat him up in that manner, tore his clothes, and he was bleeding. An old man who had been VC in 2 different universities. Somebody that is seen as a model of integrity. He was disgraced. The treatment that would have been best for Huduari, he was the one who got it. Somehow, Hudu managed to escape all of the worst that happened to him was that person trying to collect a document from his pocket. He managed to evade attention. He managed to evade a few slaps. But they said they do not know where he is. I believe that the police want to fish him out. They will do it in no time, yes.
Oh, Dada, this is not the first time we've witnessed a sordid scenario of electoral officers going rogue. But many have said, because nobody has been punished, could have been the reason why this problem continues to fester.
You can't have a country where impunity is not punished. We can't be rewarding impunity with lethargy. Now, we have to have a country where institutions run seamlessly, where men don't tamper with institutions. And the reason is this. Institutions often outlive men. Who created the EFCC? Former President Obasanjo. But I call him former President Obasanjo because EFCC is an institution. ICPC. Institutions have been created by men in power by the virtue of the office they hold. But those institutions continue, survive them. Even if those men die, institutions continue. Now, why am I saying this? A man tampered with the process for whatever reason. But whatever reason he had was an ignoble one. Okay. He did this, and they suspended, and all of that, and he somehow disappeared, and we hear that no one knows his whereabouts. It's unacceptable. To me, it's unacceptable. If there is a genuine intention to bring this man to book, then he must be fished out and arrested. Where is he hiding? His village or where? Or has he traveled out of the country? Wherever he is, he must be brought to book because what he did is totally unacceptable. It's not something that should be done in a civilized society. So we can't just sit helpless and say, okay, Yusuf Ali, nobody knows his whereabouts. So let's get him.
All right. Welcome back to Journalist Hangout on Sunday, and I have been hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Paul Dada. We're taking a look at the aftermath of Adamawa rerun governorship election. BKO, so, should we as a country revisit the idea of the president getting involved in the appointment of national commissioners and resident electoral commissioners? Because many have said, some stakeholders have said, in appointing these personalities, they need to apply and go through rigorous screening.
Yes, I think I may agree to an amendment of the law to take away the power of the president to appoint the INEC chairman. But the president should be able to nominate, the executive should be able to nominate resident electoral commissioners. But once he has nominated, the judiciary has the power to screen. But what we see is that these people don't do any serious screening. They just tell them to come, and they don't. Look at one woman was stopped the other day only because the civil society said no. So we have National Assembly members who are too partisan, too loyal to their parties, to the point that if someone is a strong party person, a strong party man, and he gets appointed for a job of resident electoral commissioner or national commissioner, the partisan members of the National Assembly will not put the country first. They will put the party first and go ahead to clear such a person. I mean, it has to stop. What is it? How many times do you have to do this kind of work, to screen people thoroughly? They don't do that so many times. So why can't you, on the few occasions that you are required to screen people, why can't you do it diligently with the fear of God and with the interest of the nation at heart? Because I can tell you, people have told me that if this Huduari had been thoroughly screened, what happened would not have happened, because it would not even have scaled the screening obstacle. But that's not what they just. And then, of course, the underground lobbying that goes with this whole thing. We just ensure that, okay, once they come, they just let them go. Or sometimes they don't want to offend the president because the president has done the appointment. Let's not do anything that will make the president angry. And you are not, if you don't want to make the president angry, you have no job being a lawmaker, because you are supposed to oversight the president. Look at what we have today. We have too many debts to repay. How can a country spend about 86% of its revenue on debt servicing? And it's because the quantum of debt is huge. Therefore, you have to pay those debts in dollars. The payment is denominated in foreign currency. You have to pay. So you just find that, and your revenue that comes in naira form, by the time it gets converted to dollars, it looks like you have not even made anything. Yeah. So this is the thing. They knew at that time that they were indulging the executive too much, providing all those loans. Every time the executive wanted loans, which was a cheap way of looking for money, you just agree. Now, in their hearts, a lot of them have regrets. Because I spoke with a high-ranking person who said, we shouldn't have allowed this to happen, that under the Tinubu presidency, we have to discourage this idea of taking loans. Even if you don't discourage, the creditor will discourage you when he refuses to give you. We've seen that now with China, who turned down one of our requests recently. So it just, if you are National Assembly, do your job. When you are required to screen people, screen them thoroughly. Don't allow brigands to appropriate appointive positions. I mean, it's not right. At the end of the day, we all suffer. So they need to do their job well. Yes, I agree that we could get to that point where, okay, the National Assembly can choose the, what was it called? The INEC chairman. And it can be made even competitive. That people can apply and all that. In Mexico, the job of Inspector General of Police is competitive. Even there was a state in Mexico where a woman competed and she won. And she has no background as a police officer. And she became the, yes. So some of these things can be made far more competitive than we are seeing, which will enable us to get the very best.
So Paul Dada, as scary as the situation is, INEC has off-cycle elections to conduct. For you, how much more does the electoral umpire has to do?
Well, let's also give it to INEC. INEC did very well with off-cycle elections, and they improved. Not everybody in INEC is as bad as Harry. So we've had recs that quit themselves, and did very, very well. Also, this last election, we had recs in states that did not usurp the powers of the collation officers And
I think this is the first time, really.
Yes. So this is a problem that we are seeing. It's unprecedented. So what I would just say is that as it has happened, it means that we need to checkmate that from happening. And that is why I actually align with the position of BKO. We need to the National Assembly has to up its game, especially in screening. You know, this the same attitude they also show when they are screening ministerial nominees.
You just
take a bow and go. What does that mean? And even I would even prefer a situation where the ministerial nominee, there's a portfolio attached to the person. For example, if you say it's going to be a minister of education, there may now be a Senate committee.
Let's judge him on that.
Exactly. If it's just a committee, not the whole, drills in on that, in that area. If it's for health, let him be drilled. So it's serious business. Because when you put people in position, it's a position of trust. The destiny, the lives of people are committed to that, can be decided even by that person in position. So it's like we play too much with serious things in this country, and we must make sure that we stop all of that.